Let's check in with Turning Point's White House correspondent Monica Paige at the White House after what you called a historic briefing. Okay, I'm assuming that, and sorry if this assumption is not relative to everybody watching, but clips have been coming out all day. People have seen what went on in the White House press briefing room. Give us kind of the dare I say, vibe report of what's going on there. Tulsi Gabbard made an appearance. What was it like in that room?
Yeah, Jobob, when you said that when I said this is a historic briefing and you said, wait, what happened? I genuinely thought you were being sarcastic because this was definitely a bombshell briefing. We had Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard in the briefing room with us, completely unannounced. It wasn't listed that she was going to be there on the president's schedule the night before or even today. Nobody knew that this was going to happen. But she came forward with papers, a stack of papers where she read off kind of like a monologue to the press about what she calls irrefutable evidence that details how former President Obama and his national security team came together and directed the creation of intelligence community assessment that they knew was false against President Trump, especially as it pertains to the 2016 election. And that is what she said verbatim. But what's interesting is that as she's presenting us with this information, talking about Hillary Clinton's involvement and talking about how Hillary Clinton was allegedly using tranquilizers and had these extreme mood changes. I'm looking around the room at some of the mainstream media reporters, and they're either huffing and puffing or they're shaking their heads. I actually heard one reporter standing in the back of the room who was still wearing a mask in 2025 saying, "That's not true. That's not true." And these
Wow.
reporters are like many in the briefing room that still have seats, by the way, where if you hit them in the face with evidence, they still do not believe what is being told to them from that podium in the White House, just because it is the Trump White House. They don't want to believe it. They still think that former President Obama is the best thing since sliced bread. He can't do no wrong. And it's just so interesting to see the dynamics in that room and to hear some of the questions too. It just doesn't make any sense. Just pushing back against the intelligence of the investigation that
Mhm.
Director Gabbard found. It's astounding. And I'm glad this is all coming to light. I'm glad that we're seeing these true colors. And Director Gabbard said there will be much more to come. It's all in the DOJ's hands now,
I
as
was
far as
just
we
going to
can tell.
say, it feels like we're on the very, very front end of what could be a really, really big story. Where do you kind of see it going? Not necessarily from how it plays out in the media, but of your colleagues in the press briefing room, do you think they'll come around if there ends up being an overwhelming amount of evidence, or do you think they're just gonna stand firm of no, my side's never done anything wrong. Orange man bad. We're on stolen land. My pronouns are Zer.
Right. I mean, that's such a great question, Joe Bob, because I do see it 50-50. Tulsi Gabbard kind of urged the mainstream media to be honest about this, be
Mhm.
honest about your reporting. And Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt kind of called out organizations like the New York Times that have won awards on what they had found regarding
Yeah.
Russiagate and the lies that have been propagated over the last 10 plus years regarding the situation, and that those reporters should have their Pulitzer Prizes completely revoked. I mean, this was a lie. And the members of this intelligence community are now commentators on CNN.
Mm.
And they're going to continue to kind of push this narrative that has been debunked by this current administration. This is fantastic. So I'm very interested to see what happens next. This is just the tip of the iceberg, I predict, Joe Bob. But as far as reporting goes, I really hope that they choose the honest route from now on. And obviously, more information is going to come out as it pertains to Obama specifically. What does accountability look like? If there's a statute of limitations on conspiracy and all these types
Mm.
of, yeah, there's a lot that's going to go into this, but this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult for us to continue on with the show with business as usual with all this stuff happening. But Monica
Yeah.
Page, thanks for joining us. We'll keep a close eye on this, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.